Okay, let's get the camera back up. Oh, looking the wrong way. Off to a good start here. Okay, it is, let's see, it's not Monday morning. Get to my notes here. Thank you guys. Hang on a sec.
Looking the wrong way.
Turn all those off. We're playing around today. It's Monday afternoon. I'm Robbie Schreffler. Looks like the rain is about to start coming in here in San Francisco anytime. As we start out, like I'm probably going to be looking off to my side quite a bit here because I've got a couple of new toys that I'm messing around with today. So you'll see down in one of the corners here. Where am I at? Like down here, eCammlive is one of the things that I'm working on. I've got Ashley over here off to the side watching me, and she's going to mute her phone here just as soon as she can. She can just we're just going live here, I guess, is what we're doing. I'm going to be a tad distracted, I think, is kind of the point here, because I'm learning on the fly with these live streams. But as I'm working out, there's going to be just some rough ones. You'll just kind of like have to deal with it, I guess. So whether you're watching on Facebook or you're on YouTube or anything like that, just kind of let me know where you're watching. Welcome to this live stream. According to the features list on this program, it says that I'll be able to see your comments as they come in, but I can see on Facebook that I've got, he says, it sounds like you breathed in helium. Well, I'm using a different recorder today, so maybe I'm going to have to work on that, Michael, so we'll see how it goes. Does it sound like I'm high-pitched? Does it really? Am I high-pitched? I don't know. Let's find out. Today's live stream brought to you by... Is it like catching up? So we'll see how it goes. Does it sound like I'm high-pitched? Does it really? Am I high-pitched? I don't know. Let's find out. How funny is that? I'm listening to myself. I have no idea how to deal with that. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do here, if I'm going to keep going or if I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with the sound. Like I said, there's going to be some rough stuff here. Let's see. Let's pull up my audio here. Mute microphone.
I'm muted. There we go. Now I'm back on. So let's see how it goes. This is just fantastic. It's just fantastic. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here along on the ride. At some point, my volume is going to turn on, and we're going to do another. There we go. Now I'm back on. Okay. We'll have to figure this stuff out, man. Okay. So back to the content of the live stream here. I want to talk today a little bit about the things that we're wrestling with, or tension, builders. So I guess like we could say, technology right now is a tension builder for me. But the things that we're kind of wrestling with as we go through all of these sheltering orders. We don't want to just do this so that we can feel, miserable about what's going on. I think, did text messages just come up? I think text messages are going to come up. I'm not going to be able to do this with my phone either. So be careful about what you text me right now, because it may pop up on the screen here on accident. So talking about the things that give us a little bit of tension in our day-to-day life here, right? Not just so that we can continue feeling miserable, but so that we can start to think about maybe what that rumbling, that's happening deep inside of ourselves, what maybe that means. We can look at those things, as problems, as flaws, as things that are frustrating us. Oh man, I've got all kinds of stuff coming in right now. Or we can think about them maybe as something that's being revealed within us, sorry, there we go. Maybe something about the character or who we are, right? And so just kind of to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. I have made a big deal about the struggles that I'm having with, the schooling that we're doing for my daughter. She's in kindergarten. We have this 40-minute long daily Zoom meeting for her. And it's been hard for me, right? Like, but then in addition to that, there's like activities, assignments, things that we're supposed to be doing throughout the day. And like, it's a hard addition to daily life, something that we already have going on right now with everything else, right? But thinking about that thing for me, like it's a tension builder for me, thinking about the schooling that is. I've got options for how I can think about that thing though. I'm gonna have to do a different camera, I think, on this. I can think about it instinctually, right? And if I just go kind of instinctually in the ways that I think about this, I'm going to be thinking about it through eyes of anger. I'm going to be upset about it instinctually without thinking about it, hard or being intentional about it. I'm going to allow that one thing to kind of like impact me in different places all throughout the day. And it's going to become, kind of like a big frustration for me, I think, through the day. Like it's going to have maybe like dominoes. We think about, one domino knocking over another one. I can think about it that way, right? There are like, I don't know, maybe just like you think about it like in terms of like, what that anger produces, right? So like, dive into, your inner Yoda right now. It doesn't show your phone notifications. Oh, good. That's good. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. We're learning as we go. That anger from having to do this thing that's disrupting so many other things, right, is going to produce, just a louder parent, right? Like it's going to mean that I'm going to have a shorter temper with my kids. It's also going to mean that my kids are going to throw more temper tantrums, right? And so it's just kind of like one thing builds off of another thing, and it's going to create kind of like a hard moment. The other way I can think about it, instead of being instinctual about it, is that I can be more intentional about that moment, right? And in that, I can start to think like proactively about what is that, thing welling up in me? What is it actually teaching me right now? In the past, there have been times where I've thought that, like, I would love to be a teacher, or I'd like to teach. This moment is revealing for me. Ashley's giving me a dirty look right now. But this moment for me is like revealing that, that's probably not a good idea. I'm realizing maybe that I like to proclaim more than I like to teach. So maybe like live streaming and this kind of stuff is perfect for me. This is also revealing that I have, various needs that maybe aren't being, fulfilled, right? Like I have a need for silence, solitude, a big one that's really not being met with the kids all around. I do have a need for some form of organization, so like, what's the thing that we're going through during the day? I need to have help, with the kids, so I can't just do this. I'm gonna have to figure this phone thing out. I can't just do these things all on my own, right? Like now, as I say those things out loud, are any of those things inherently bad? No, none of those things are bad, but they are revelations about, who I am, that when I think more intentionally about things that are going on, I can then kind of find a way forward or a path forward. So at some point today, right, like using that as an example, at some point today, I want you to do this. I want you just to, spend a few minutes on your own if you can find that kind of time, right? Separated from the thing that you're wrestling with. And right now I'm wrestling with this stinking phone. What is it that you're wrestling, and hit the moon? What are you talking about? Oh, dude, I don't know. I've got so many things popping up right now. spend some time, right, separated from the thing that you're wrestling with, and begin to think about that thing, but don't just like be instinctual about it. Be intentional about the way that you're thinking about it, right? When you think about whatever it is that you're wrestling with, what are the emotions that are attached to that? Is it making you angry? Is it are you disappointed in yourself? Are you disappointed in others? Are you feeling a little bit ashamed about the things that are going on connected with that? Now, sit with that for like a little bit, just kind of have it within you and try as best as you can not to judge yourself. The things that we do that are probably the hardest are connected to like how we react to the things that we think about. So try not to judge yourself in this, but give yourself some space for a time not to be right or wrong in this time. And in that space, start to ask yourselves, what do these emotions, what do these feelings, what do these things say about me? Again, right, like free of judgment in this time, right? What are these feelings revealing about you? Do the things that you wrestle with, right? Do they actually reveal something within you that's like a passion for yourself? Do they reveal maybe like something that you're needing to work on? Like is there an addiction that you're dealing with? Is there a need that is not being met? In this time of sheltering, my reflection and my reflections, there are kind of three things that I'm really realizing about myself right now. First, as I said earlier, like there's just a need for some silence and solitude in my life right now, that can't really be met. Like I'm doing these videos at 2:30, which is a really awkward time to do it, but I'm doing it because this is when the kids are taking naps right now. So like it's one of the one times that I can have like a little bit of quiet in the house, to do something like this. We are wrestling with the need for space, right? I said earlier that Ashley's sitting here with me. I'm not trying to knock her for sitting with me because I actually enjoy that she's helping me out with some of this stuff. But we don't have any space in the house right now for anything, that reflects like solitude or silence or anything like that. Now, if I'm being intentional about thinking about these things, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to find that my early moments, my late moments in the day, that those are the times that we are going to have the best chance of finding some silence and solitude, right? So either before the kids get up or after the kids go to sleep. And when I say early in our house, we have to get up really early. Like I have to be up at like 5:30 to beat Sawyer from getting out of bed. The second thing that I've realized has been something connected to social media, which is kind of a hard thing because like when we took out the face-to-face stuff that we're doing, like I have to rely on some of these things that we've got going on in our lives. We have to rely on Facebook and YouTube and all of these different things to, provide a space for us to gather. But I'm realizing that like social media, and it's not like a big surprise to anybody, right? But like it's a very addictive thing. And if I'm not careful, I will spend all of my free time, with my head buried in a screen. I dread that like weekly usage report that all of the devices send to you, right? Because like I've just been watching as like that, kind of flies up all the time at that time of week. I'm realizing that I'm spending a ton of time there. With the shift that we've had, we have to use some of these outlets. That has though a negative impact on a lot of parts of life, right? Like it has a negative impact in family life. I am preoccupied all the time. I've always got my phone with me. I'm always looking at something. I'm always trying to learn something new. So I'm trying to learn eCam and Restream and, Final Cut. And I'm trying to learn all of these things so I can provide more content that's going out, right? But that means that that's coming at the detriment of the time that I have for my family. In that, I'm more prone to being a little bit angry with somebody if they are disrupting my time, right? And that can go for, being intentional time, like the intentional time of like trying to uh, of trying to learn something, but then also just for like scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or something like that. I can get upset during those times, right? So like if I'm being intentional about that, I have to set boundaries for myself in this time so that I can like maybe step away from those things and then refocus my time and my attention on the things that are really important. The third thing that I'm learning in this time is that I need a rhythm that includes exercise. If I'm going to be healthy, it's something that I've got to be able to find. With sheltering, I struggle to get like that exercise. That's the kind of exercise you get without, thinking about exercise. You know what I mean? Like before, you would just go for a walk and do something, right? Like we'd take the kids out and go do something with them, take them to the park or walk to the grocery store, and we just go pick up a couple things that we need. Ash would walk to work. There's just all of those like, simple things that we do in our lives that are a part of, that. And I don't have those right now. And like I'm not going to stand up right now because I don't want to show you like my buttons all, popping out because I put on a couple pounds here. But I need the space that is like built into my schedule intentionally for that. Otherwise, I won't get those things on my own. You know what I mean? So like I've got to find ways to do that. And in the house, like it has to include the kids, right? Because it's hard to not incorporate them into an activity without expecting them, to be like under feet. The time of sheltering that we have, right, is not something that's going to last forever. The things that we wrestle with now, they could become a springboard into, like a healthier and happier time for us on the other side of all of this sheltering. So, the thing to do, right, like take some time today and do some reflecting on what it is that you're wrestling with, the things that have you, kind of going on the deep end here. And just like do some reflection on what it is that is going on in your heart. Identify those things and then maybe start planning for the moments that come next for you. That's it for today. Sorry that I had a helium voice at one point, and I've been like punching my screen the whole time, and I've got my box like tracking my face and all of those things. It's a test run. Like I said, it'll be some rough ones here. Do me a favor though, give me a thumbs up on it if you're on YouTube. Like, subscribe subscribe on YouTube, thumbs up on Facebook, all those kinds of things. But guys, I love you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll try to do a better job talking to you tomorrow.